Straight ahead on CCX News. Just before a new school year, a school shut down.
And so we got kind of whacked on the side of the head with this thing.
What happened and how it has parents scrambling. Plus, a Robbinsdale woman whose personal story could help land her on the cover of a magazine. And later, another easy escape in backyard getaways. This one just requires a little balance. CCX News starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Shannon Slatton. Mike Johnson is off.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. Odyssey Academy, a nearly 20-year-old Brooklyn Center charter school, is learning it will have to close for good. This week, the governing board that authorizes the kindergarten through 8th grade school made its final decision to terminate the charter contract based on poor academic performance. Odyssey Academy opened in 1998. The charter school's authorizer, Audubon Center of the Northwoods, says Odyssey Academy failed to provide its students with a proper learning environment, and that bore itself out in poor test scores and overall academic performance.
Really, Odyssey hasn't met the academic expectations that were agreed upon in its contract. It's been one of the lowest performing schools in this area, and it just hasn't served students as well as we expect them to.
As you can imagine, for the 300 students and family at Odyssey Academy, the news is hard to take.
As Delane Cleveland reports, students will have to find new schools to attend, and staff members will have to find new jobs.
I've never been there.
I think it's a grieving process that we're all going through.
For the past 19 years, Odyssey Academy has served students in Brooklyn Center and the surrounding community.
It's one of the first charter schools in the country.
John Sadeh was executive director for 7 of those 19 years. He says the school prides itself on serving a diverse population with small class sizes.
We really believe in the personal touch with students. We like to say that this is a safe place. It's a place where students can come and feel safe and learn.
The halls and classrooms are empty this time of year, and with a few weeks left to go before the new school year, they're going to stay that way. School officials learned this week that Audubon was terminating Odyssey's charter contract.
Generally, the major issue they pointed to was the fact that we had low test scores. And our test scores are not good. There are other schools that are in the same boat, but our test scores are not good.
That, along with personnel issues, resulted in the decision to close. But Sadeh says he feels betrayed because they didn't have an opportunity to implement their 5-year turnaround plan.
And so we got kind of whacked on the side of the head with this thing.
Meanwhile, that leaves parents wondering what to do next.
Not knowing where my children are going to go to school in next month is very concerning to me and to a lot of our other families that are in the same situation.
Tanisha Cragnis has 2 children at Odyssey, putting her in a difficult situation to find new schools for them in the span of a month.
From a kid's point of view, it's where are my friends going to go, where is everyone else going to go? I don't know, and I don't have answers for them, and so that's the sad part about it.
Sadness is a common emotion after this week's decision as 19 years of history comes to an end.
And it's just sort of like the family's breaking apart.
The school will host a meeting Tuesday night to explain to parents the reason for the closure. Representatives from other schools in the area will be on hand to help parents find alternatives. Shannon and Alex.
All right, thank you, Delane. The topic of charter schools got us thinking a little more about their history.
According to the Minnesota Department of Education, the first charter school opened in the state back in 1992. There are currently 164 charter schools statewide. In the northwest suburbs, that includes schools such as Excel Academy and Prairie Seeds Academy. Charter schools are free public schools open to all. And the idea of a charter school is to offer a unique educational program for those seeking an alternative to traditional public schools.
In other news, one of the area's busiest freeway ramps will shut down a day earlier than expected. MnDOT will now close the ramp from eastbound I-394 to eastbound I-94 late Sunday instead of late Monday. A communications error is to blame for the mix-up. The ramp will still be closed for 2 weeks. The closure is part of the I-94 project between Brooklyn Center and Minneapolis. The ramp closure is expected to put heavy pressure on southbound Highway 100, which is part of the suggested 15-mile detour.
Some Maple Grove Elementary students will have a good reason to go out and play. After 15 years, some playgrounds are getting a major makeover.
They get used a lot, especially at the school sites. There can be 300 to 400 students running through a day on recess stuff, and they get loved to death.
The playgrounds at Elm Creek, Rice Lake, and Rush Creek Elementary schools are all getting renovated. Besides putting in new slides and climbing structures, you will also see different features that challenge cognitive skills. Crews are also changing the play area surface to make it handicap accessible.
All these playgrounds originally had pea gravel, which is a like 1/4-inch gravel material for the safety surfacing, and it is compliant with standards. But we're going to a wood, engineered wood fiber surface, which is much more handicap accessible.
The playground upgrades cost about $145,000 each. The Maple Grove Park Board, which has a joint powers agreement with the Osseo School District, is paying for the upgrades. The new playgrounds should be ready when school starts on September 5th. A Robbinsdale woman is competing to be a model on a magazine, all in hopes of bringing awareness to an issue close to her heart.
If I could do one thing in this world, it would be to talk to women all over the world about mental health.
Jennifer Emmerich is sharing her story and competing to be on the cover of a Canadian magazine called Fabu Plus. She's currently in the top 10 and waiting to hear whether she's a finalist. Jennifer had to submit a video explaining why she wanted to be on the cover of a magazine, and instead of talking about wanting to be a model, she decided to talk about her battle with depression.
Maybe if it just helped a little bit with the stigma of mental health, that it could be, the person walking down the street that looks like they have everything together, but inside they don't, So don't judge anyone and help them if you can.
Jennifer expects to find out today, Friday, if she placed in the contest. The winner is on the cover, of course, but there are other prizes for the finalists, too. Still ahead, you're literally minutes away from our next backyard getaway.
We will take you to Maple Grove coming up next. Plus, one of Armstrong's top girls basketball players ever stops by her old school 20 years after graduating, and we're going to hear from her.
But first, a mixed bag for the weekend. Saturday nice, Sunday possible thunderstorms. We'll be right back. And it's time for our weekly backyard getaway segment.
And today it is a short trip with an up north feel. We get more from Eric Nelson.
This week our backyard getaway is smack dab in the Northwest Metro. Located next to the busy I-94-494 split, Maple Grove's Fish Lake is a water lover's dream.
This is a really great spot. It's often really calm.
It's also an easy escape from the hustle and bustle of the Twin Cities.
You don't have a lot of time to get out of the city. You don't have time to get to the Boundary Waters. Coming to one of our parks and using our rental equipment are really great ways to get out on the water and stay near home.
Paddleboarding is a popular thing on Fish Lake.
It can really be a good workout, full body experience, get a really great core workout, or you can just go out, you can tool around, relax on your board, enjoy the sunset.
And Three Rivers instructor Jessica Allen,
your fingers just scoot right over the top with your knuckles facing up,
gave CCX photographer Dustin Scholl,
I like to think of this one as a BFD. It is a big flotation device.
Some tips on how to stay afloat.
Whenever we get out on the water, the fin's going to help us track really straight.
Fish Lake's close proximity to the Twin Cities is a plus.
I mean, I've always liked being on the water, so it's just a good getaway.
If you are in the Northwest Metro, you are just minutes away from cool water and prime paddleboard.
Becoming one with the water is one of the pieces that I really enjoy about stand-up paddleboarding, because you are really close to the water. You can sit right down and throw your feet in, unlike a kayak or canoe where you've got your hull of your boat separating you from the water.
Paddleboarding has its roots in Hawaii.
I would say it is the closest thing to surfing you've got in the Midwest. If you have a little bit of wave action, you can actually surf the wind a little bit. You can let the wind push you.
Dustin found out balance is key.
And I love having people get out there and try it for the first time. The first time that they see somebody out on that thing, maybe it doesn't look so easy, and they get out there and they really dial it in.
for Backyard Getaways. I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
And if you don't have your own paddleboard, you can rent one at Fish Lake. Still ahead, a collection that grew into something much more.
We head to the prairie this time to show you coming up. But first, football players in the Osseo youth program get set for the season with a camp run by the high school coaches. Jay Wilcox has the details up next.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. It's getting to be that time. The Vikings kicked off the preseason Thursday night and high school football teams start practice Monday. The Osseo Football Association held its annual youth camp this week and there was a good turnout again. Here's Jason Melillo with more.
Around 135 kids in grades 2nd through 8 came out for a 3-day football camp at Osseo High School. For the younger guys, it's a chance to learn the fundamentals and be around Osseo coaches and varsity players.
Catching the ball, because people always help me with that, and running the ball, because I used to never know how to run the ball. I used to go like this, always like this, but it's supposed to be like this.
They teach you a lot about team effort, and how to lose. A lot of kids that I know, they whine after they lose. They're really mad at themselves. So I just say to myself, it's okay, get them next time.
For the 7th and 8th graders, high school is coming soon. And at this camp, they get a peek at the Orioles playbook, which could help them transition to high school football in a few years.
It definitely helps transitioning into high school. It just feels smoother going to high school than people that don't come here. So
definitely know what they're doing. You know, I definitely have an edge over people who didn't go to the camp. Because like if you're going anywhere and you're a new person and you don't know what it's like to be there, you know, it throws you all off because you basically have to relearn everything. Well, I'm learning it. Once I get to that level, I'll already be where everybody else is.
Jason Melillo, CCX Sports.
The Osseo High School and youth programs will hold a joint showcase night Friday, August 25th at the high school stadium. Well, 1997 Armstrong High School graduate Heather Haanen is still the school's all-time scoring leader in basketball, boys or girls, 20 years after she graduated. That fall, she headed to Colorado State University on a basketball scholarship, enjoying 4 good seasons with the Rams. We caught up with Heather recently at Armstrong and asked her about the start of her college basketball career, which wasn't so easy.
I came off the bench my freshman year most of the time, which was actually great for me because I thought I deserved to be a starter, and it pushed me. I mean, tooth and nail pushed me, and I think that alone propelled me to be the WAC Freshman of the Year because I felt like I was not being seen. And so I wondered to this day if Coach Collin knew what he was doing because I think it propelled me to be even better. You know, I didn't have a bad attitude, but I was like, all right, game on, let's go. And then I had to work for it, so.
You can see all of Heather's story and more about her life now in Fort Collins, Colorado as part of the CCX Sports Hall of Fame special. Haanen will be one of the new inductees into our hall for 2017. That special airs throughout Labor Day weekend here on CCX. Well, we've had a little fall-like weather this week. That gets some thinking ahead to hunting season. We stopped by to check out the sights and sounds at the annual game fair.
August 1981. And you said, what?
Game Fair runs this weekend and next Friday through Sunday in Ramsey. That's all for sports. Alex and Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. Up next, planting the seeds for future growth.
How you can help restore native prairies when we come back.
Well, this weekend, slather up the butter, sprinkle on a little salt, and take a bite out of something sweet. This is the 47th annual Corn Fest at the Church of St. Gerard tonight. That's Friday evening and Saturday from 6 to 11 p.m. Festivities include live music, carnival games, inflatables, and of course, great food. Well, Saturday looks to be the better day of the weekend to enjoy the outdoors.
In today's Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley has an unusual idea for recreation that will get you outside and help out Three Rivers Parks in the process.
I mean, it really is. It's like a adult scavenger hunt. Look right here, this is purple prairie clover. You can see it's still blooming right now, so not quite ready.
Ready for what, you may ask?
Look for other plants that might be getting close without any blooms on them. So some of these are just starting to get close, and what you essentially do is you'll just be kind of twisting the seed off.
This Saturday, you have the opportunity to help Three Rivers Park District in their annual Gathering of Seeds from the Prairie in Crowhassan Park Reserve. Three Rivers Parks has over 1,600 acres of restored prairie, and they're looking to expand that even more in the future.
With that added acreage comes a little bit more work. So the seed that is collected by our volunteers will not only go back into these prairies, but also into our new prairies.
Even if you're not Betty Botanist or Hank Horticulturalist, you'll have an expert like Angela, who's already forgotten more than I'll ever learn about plants, to show you the ropes.
Usually I'll go through a few different ones and kind of talk about the plant, maybe its unique smell or a unique pollinator, and then I'll kind of hold it up and be like, who wants to collect this one? And then I hand them a sample species to collect.
And if you want to lower your blood pressure and have a relaxing prairie experience, this could be your ticket.
It's just that feeling you get out in the prairie. You just kind of feel this, because if you look around, it's open. I mean, this is open space. How often in your day-to-day busy work life, busy schedule, do you get that sense of openness, calm, quiet?
Not often enough. From Crowhassan Park Reserve for Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, CCX News.
Thanks, Neil. And you do need to sign up online for seed collecting. And if you can't make it out this weekend, that's okay. There are many opportunities every Tuesday and Saturday from now through late October at many Three Rivers Park District locations. Just go to threeriversparks.org and type seed in the search box to find out more information. So, Alex, some people do yoga, some gather seeds.
That's right. I was just going to say, who isn't looking for that?
That's what you can go do, a relaxing weekend experience. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Monday, starting at 4 o'clock.